I always say this is like, fuck, I wish we spent another $1 million on just holidays in our 20s, because we could have actually afforded it. We wouldn't have, done the thing. But it's like, now I can never get that back. No matter how much money, no matter how many holidays we can go, I can never get the ones back in our 20s, right? So it is, and I do think we were just very double down. And that's why we went to that process of wanting to do the sale and take some of the money off the table, because like it can be a drug, this success, this growth, is that you just like anything else, you just chase it and chase more and more and more. When I know I've spoken to those ones and spoken to these founders, older ones and billionaires, where I'm like, shit, they would give all of it away to be in their 20s again and be zero. Like, that's the thing.
But the caveat I want to remind you of, Simon, the caveat to what you've just said is this. It's important to remember that you were fulfilled right the way through the journey with what you were doing. And that's why you got rid of the holidays, because you didn't need them, because you were fulfilled in what you were doing. True. And most people that listen to this, they don't have two things. They don't have a direction, and they don't have fulfillment in what they're doing, because they've never sat down with themselves long enough to understand, okay, this is why why am I actually doing this? Who is this actually for? What is this actually for? They've probably never had that conversation. And that's where you can lead yourself to getting trapped in this lifestyle business where you earn, let's just say, 1 to 5 million a year. You pull out 2.5 million if you're earning 5. You pull out 500,000 if you're earning 1 million, and then they wonder why they're stagnated with growth. They lack direction. They lack fulfillment in what they're doing. So how can people? Because I lived in Australia for 8.5 years in the Gold Coast. It's an unbelievable place, but so many people in the Gold Coast specifically earn phenomenal money, have phenomenal little businesses, but never scale past a certain point because they love the lifestyle too much.
Quick one for you guys. This podcast is sponsored by ContentRemoval.com. As many of you are probably aware, I set up ContentRemoval.com in 2017 to help people remove all forms of online content, and I've looked after some of the biggest names and brands in the world doing it. And I would love to help you if you're struggling. If you're struggling to remove images, videos, search results, fake accounts, or anything online, go to ContentRemoval.com and we'll help you today.
How do you get out of that mindset where you just love the lifestyle so much and you're living it for that moment that you cut yourself off from the growth?
I think, though, it can be a conscious choice. Like, some people will want that lifestyle. For me, I always had this thing. I never wanted to be a small business. I hated the term. I hated that feeling of like, Aussie battler. I just wanted to break out of that stage and not get referred to as a small business. I wanted a big team. I wanted to hire as many people as I could. I wanted to be able to grow and expand, to break away from that Aussie battler, little Aussie business mentality. So that's where I was prepared to sort of justify, to sacrifice some of the lifestyle to double down on our dream. And I always had this vision from very early days when I saw Culture Kings. And I remember we when it was really working and humming, and I was like, I know this can work everywhere around the world. And I'd vision it. I'd build it into my morning meditation where I'd be like, Champs-Élysées in Paris, London, Dubai Mall, Shibuya, Japan, and Las Vegas, Caesar's Palace. I visioned all these iconic cities around the world, building these iconic stores that created the feeling, the state, the emotion, created the brand that then you connect that emotion, that when they go away from there, you remarket them with their phone number, you remarket them on Facebook ads, that they remember the brand, they click through and buy, and you build the biggest e-commerce streetwear retailer in the world with these iconic stores. And I always thought this, like, what Foot Locker does with 1,000 stores, I could do with 50. That was that was the vision. And I from very early, but I did what we could afford, right? I couldn't go straight to bloody, London, Oxford Street. I had to just go, okay, here, Sydney, we couldn't go on George Street. We went underground, but we could create more of the hype and stuff to it. Melbourne, we had to go a little bit out. We had to choose the places that we could afford because we were always funding it from free cash flow, where we could have raised all this money and tried to swing for the hilt. But I'm sure there would have been a very high chance we would have blown it up in the same time.